Just want to introduce myself again. My name is Elsdunne. I'm the spokesperson for the Israel Police. My job is to come up with words, and Maya and I always talk about it. It's funny because we relive October 7th over and over again since October 7th. And I have to come up with new words, and I have to come up with new ways, because not everybody is Israeli and not everybody's Jewish. And they come here and they see, and we say the word hasbara in Israel, and I want to throw that word out of the window somewhere, because what we've been doing since October 7th hasn't been hasbara. We've been convincing people. We've had to stand in front of houses where people were kidnapped, where people woke up on Saturday morning and their entire world flipped upside down. Hamas terrorists came inside, they grabbed them, and they pulled them back into Gaza. Parents lost their kids on October 7th. Children lost their fathers, their mothers. I don't even know how to begin where everything started or how everything happened. The first 3 months, the first 90 days, really, they just blended together. Time has no meaning anymore. I've had to bring the press to Shura, which is the body collection site, where we split it between the IDF and police, and the IDF were identifying soldiers and the police were identifying the civilians. And a lot of people don't realize that the civilians weren't coming in full body bags. The civilians were coming in pieces, small bags. Because we would get a head with an axe in it. We would get an arm that was completely shredded. We would get bodies that were charged so badly that we could only identify them by putting in a CT scan, and we would see two spines melded together of a parent that was holding a toddler. That's what happened on October 7th. My job, Maya's job, all of our jobs, has been to convince the world since October 7th what took place here. But why? Why? Hamas came in with their own cameras to film what they did. Hamas's first public statement after October 7th was saying, this is just a rehearsal. And yet here we are, 90 days after. I can't give you the smell that was in the air, the smell that got stuck in our noses and we couldn't breathe. It was stuck in our brain. We had to take off our clothes before we went into our homes. I can't pass to you the fear of the parents that were on the other side of this kibbutz, knowing their kids were right here and what was happening to them. I wish I could. I wish, because I want to give you all the tools that I can possibly give for you guys to do your job better. We all have a responsibility here. Emily behind me, I know her brother. I've known him since I made Aliyah to Israel. This was so personal. Because no matter if you know someone from this kibbutz or not, you were affected by October 7th. We were all affected by October 7th. My family in America was affected by October 7th because they stayed up all night looking through the messages, looking at the news. They couldn't leave their house. The attack happened here, they felt it there. They didn't want to leave their homes there in America. It is beyond me how when we brought the international media to Shura base and we had to open up trailers that had bodies inside, real people, I had to say, wake up, hello, these are real people. Everyone's chattering, laughing, this, that, some are eating. I'm like, how? These are real people inside of there. And what do they say? Dean, can you move? Can you open up the second one? We want to get more of this. A better angle. Dean, can you show us which body was sexually assaulted? What do you mean, show you which body? Open up the bag. Show us. What? The level of ignorance, the level of just disconnect from the people who were coming here. And they were here and they saw it in the beginning first days when there were bodies all over the place and we were walking them through here and they would find a body piece or they would smell the smell or they would go inside and there'd be blood splatter everywhere because Zaka didn't clean it. And they were running outside, throwing up. They couldn't handle it. What happened? Agencies sent their reporters back abroad. I asked them, guys, why aren't you showing what you're seeing? That's the point of you being here. No, Dean, it doesn't pass the breakfast test. What the hell is a breakfast test? If the people watching the news are eating their breakfast and they can't keep eating after we show them what we watch, after we show them what we air, we're not airing it. Like, so how in the world is anyone supposed to stand with us? Why is no one from the international media talking about the Arab Muslims that were killed on October 7th, the Christians that were killed on October 7th, those abducted that weren't even Israeli, that were at the Nova Music Festival? No one's speaking about them. Why? We all have a purpose in this war. We have our guys in Gaza right now. They're keeping the promise of never again. At the Washington rally, there was a woman, she was holding up a girl, actually, she was holding up a sign, 2 pictures. Maybe some of you guys saw it. One was a older woman, and she said, "This is my grandmother, she's a Holocaust survivor. She's my hero." Underneath was a picture of her brother in IDF uniform. She said, "This is my new hero. He's in Gaza right now." My grandmother said never again. My brother is keeping that promise of never again. Never again is right now. And maybe our soldiers in Gaza are fighting in combat boots, but you guys are no less important. You guys have such a critical role here, because you need to wake the world up. Emily is waiting to get out of Gaza. Her mom was just here right now. We were talking about her daughter in there, and she doesn't even like talking about it because she can't think of what's happening to her daughter right now in Gaza. And that's just her. This is one kibbutz. This is one of 22 kibbutzim. This doesn't include the music festival grounds where over 300, almost 400 people died, were slaughtered. Not died, slaughtered there. Where 17 police officers died because they were trying to save as many lives as possible. They didn't care about their families back home. They were just trying to get these kids out of there. It doesn't count the 59 police officers in total. They gave their lives. They did whatever it took so that others can live. I can speak for days. I really can. About the bodies in Shura, about the media, about the people coming here, about the families that were here. I met with all kinds of backlash of team, but this is resistance. Okay, what did a 10-month-old baby do in its 10 months of living to be victim to the Hamas attacks in the name of resistance? A 10-month-old baby. What did the women do at the music festival to have their breasts cut off and the men have their genitals cut off and have it all videotaped? Have their bodies burned alive? Have pregnant women cut open? Guys, the things that happen here are so sick. This is not a Netflix show, and it's not a cable news show. None of that. No, this is real life. When you're walking around here, it needs to feel like Auschwitz. You shouldn't be able to breathe, because what happened here, there's blood in this floor right now.
That's right.
People ran for their lives. I don't like comparing the Holocaust, but this was something. People were burned alive. Children were killed. There's 129 people right now waiting to be rescued inside of Gaza. There's 4 more people that we assume are most likely dead that have been waiting in there for years. This war, it's not a war of religion, and it's not Jews against Palestinians or Israelis against Palestinians. This is the world, humanity, against terrorism. Hamas came after all of us on October 7th. And for me and Maya, it's still October 7th. It really is. We bring groups here multiple times a day. We're so emotionally attached to the families, to the justice that needs to be served. And that's why you guys are here. Because you have the responsibility now to take everything you've seen. I can't give you the feelings, and I can't give you all the words and all the explanations and everything that they went through. But when I saw a father in Mefasim, not too far from here, on the surveillance cameras inside of his house, when the terrorists were infiltrating, and he took his 2 boys into the bomb shelter, and the terrorists came around the corner and threw the grenade inside of the bomb shelter, and you see the father jump on top of the grenade, I can't give you that feeling. I can't give you the feeling of the two boys that then ran outside and their faces are completely covered in their father's blood. And they run into their kitchen and they're sitting in their kitchen and the terrorist walks inside and opens the refrigerator and starts drinking cola in front of the kids, telling them to shut up. How do I explain that? How do I tell the 18 to 24 in America that this has nothing to do with whatever propaganda Hamas instilled into you from your TikTok videos and this and that? This was hate and this was evil. Those boys ran out of that house. But when the footage kept rolling, we saw the mother return and she saw her husband on the floor in pieces. One story, one kibbutz, one house. We'll stay here for days if it was up to me. The border fence from Gaza is right behind this house right here. That's the fence. And Hamas came in from the air. And they came in from the land with pickup trucks, with 50 caliber machine guns mounted onto the pickup trucks. And the bullets are this big. As they were shooting, they were taking out body pieces off of people. And when the first responders came in the beginning hours to try to rescue lives, and when Zaka came and everybody started trying to collect the wounded and the dead, they were victim too. Because underneath these bodies were pressure plates. So that when the first responders come to try to save a life, to try to bring them to the hospital or collect a corpse, they went with them. When the bodies got to Shula, every day there was another alert that everyone had to evacuate and the bomb disposal unit had to go inside because they shoved a grenade inside of bodies. If you guys haven't gotten it yet by what I said, I don't know what's going to get it to you, but you guys aren't alone. I'm going to be with you for any questions you have, for anything you have. We're all one family. We're all in this together. And if I'm going to tell you one thing, that Emily's going to come home.
Amen.
Hamas is going to be eliminated.
Amen. Amen.
And the world is going to know the meaning of Am Yisrael Chai.
Amen. Amen.
That us coming together, that you guys